Dyslexic genius here. We're back on the Brunswick and it's done, the rolls, and I want to talk a little about it. When you put the spring barrels together, you remember we have this slot like this and we had this nipple piece. I'll lean this over for my angel. You remember I hit this with a brass handle to move it over so I could get the barrels apart. Okay, so when you put them together, you line that up with this hole and you pinch them together, but then you don't hit them. So what happens
You
is
don't move it down into the slot.
you don't take the punch and move it, because you have the arbor in the center of the spring here, and it's got this little funny thing like my finger to hold the spring. So if you beat on it, this is going to come back and then it'll go under the spring. So you'll wind it up and then your phonograph will go thunk, 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 and you're going, my Brunswick, what happened? So you push them together and then you cymbal it, because you have the springs, you have barrel here, and the torque will twist them right into place. So you don't have to worry about it. And I showed you all about the oiling on the spindle shaft on this right here, because we have the plastic gears. I'm going to run the super lube on this. That's what I'm doing. On the spindle shaft back there, I'm using the graphite grease that I mix up. I use sewing machine oil here and on the felts to run. And then I mentioned oiling and greasing on the barrels and everything on assembly. Now, why is this so great? It's sitting on the bench like a sounding board, and you don't hear this thing run. And this is why they're the Rolls Royce of motors. When you crank them up, you have two winding crankshafts here, two gear systems, so it winds both barrels at the same time. So you're not out here, you don't have a 4-spring Columbia and you're cranking forever and your arms are getting like Arnold Schwarzenegger. You're literally cranking up 2 springs, but it's doing 4 for you. And it's just these little things that makes these motors on these Brunswicks fabulous. And you turn them on and it just runs. There we go. And after you do a motor like this, you want to do one crank up all the way, and then you want to make sure everything's running well, and then do 3 or 4 or 5 cranks before you put it into the cabinet and make sure everything's copacetic. And that's all there was for the Rolls Royce of the Brunswick, and that's my tip for the day.